Hello and welcome back to Sarah's Spare Corner. My name is Sarah. I am the host of Sarah's Spare Corner. Sarah's Spare Corner encompasses gaming as well as arts, crafts, and various different forms of creativity. Additionally, I like sharing theories, concepts, and ideas as I am a philosophy major. And when I'm not bored, I might travel places and I might post about it. But the only place we are traveling to is Planet Zoo. It has been a couple of weeks since I've recorded, so I am actually a little bit behind on my Planet Zoo uploading schedule. Sorry, my dudes. I know it's been a couple of days since I've posted last. Right, the last thing we did was this. So I think what we decided we were going to do, and by we, I mean me, is decorate the rest of the stations because this one's nice. The other ones are just a plop in the snow. And as you can see, it's quite a blizzard experience right now. I don't know how much the guests would enjoy this. I don't know if they would. All right, let's get that fixed first. An animal in your zoo with a genetic makeup of 90%. Wait, what is this? Wait, why'd you do that? Oh. Well, apparently, whatever it was. Oh, we have a bunch of visiting people. Hello, Cassie Haywood. Hello. Hello. 4 squares in a row. Hello. And Smoking Hookah. Welcome back. I think I saw you before in my last video. I don't actually know how visiting people work. Do they is it just based on somebody who searches for your zoo? How does that work? I don't know. Or maybe they looked up something similar and that came up. We also gotta decorate this because this is not it, right? That's what I think. Oh, imagine just hearing that and then these little wolves come up right behind you. Ah, look at these cuties. They can see them right there. I'd be throwing money. I'd be like, oh my gosh, yes. Oh, are you going to nap right here for the guests? Are you giving birth? No, but here's a cub. Oh my gosh. So much money. Come on. How would you not donate to that, That's only $200. Wow, nobody cares. Okay. What about you? People care? Also $200, but, oh, well, I think it's partly because this pinata is here. Anyways, this is nonsense. This has nothing to do with anything. The vet research on the North American beaver is complete. Not really complete. It's still going. Oh yeah, and then I have Ingrid going around and fixing everything. Okay. We said hi to everybody. We'll get out of here. Okay. I just want the sun to come up so that we can work in the light because this would be awful to work in. Can't see anything here, Now what we could do actually is just copy and paste everything we did here and do it in every single one. Which one did I call this again? I think I called this the Tundra Express. That's not it. No, I called this Bullwinkle Station. That's what I did. We have a spotty connection. It's never a good sign. That's okay. Okay, so this is the Bullwinkle Station. Is this train got people on it? Got a couple of people on there. There is a station over here. So do we have only 3 stations then? I swear I wanted to put one here. But then it didn't make sense because there was one there. But originally I wanted one right here. And I actually planned for it. But then he would be you'd go around this way and then go that way. Completely miss some of the other exhibits. So, you know what? I think it's fine. I think in the last video I specifically talked about that too. I'm like, oh, that's not what I wanted. Okay, well, whatever. Who cares now? Oh my God. There's a lot of people who want to go on the train. Well, it's a good thing we set up the train then because it's exactly what we want. All right, what are we going to call this station? Call this station, no. Is this the station? Well, which one is this? Which station is this? Why won't you tell me? I think station's the first one. No. Station 2. We'll call it that. I don't know. No, we'll not call it awe. Oh my God. James the Timberwolf is about to mature. Good, because I think your partner is older than you, so we need to get you breeding. Okay, this has got to be station 2. So we're going to call you, I don't even know what you would call this. Well, this is a main station, right? So it'd just be Central Station. Great. Central Station. Okay. Research is not complete on the striped skunk. We get this fixed. We'll get this solar panel fixed. We'll get this solar panel fixed. Looks like we have... Oh, no. I just need to delete all those. Okay. This is such a cute thing. I know it is a... what's it called? A blueprint? But, like, it's so cute, right? Anyway. Oh, and how's our restaurant doing? Looks like people are enjoying... What is that, a muffin? Or a cupcake? Well, that's all that matters. Okay. Facility has broken down. Great. All right, you're the Bullwinkle station. And then what is the last one we have to do? We've already done this, right? Yeah, we'll delete it then. Okay. And the last station over here is near... I think what I wanted to do was put the cougars over here, I think. So we have... Well, what would we call this then? Cougar something. It starts with a C and, you know, has to do with a station. Let's go to dictionary.com, my favorite website. Or at least it was when I was a child. Dictionary.com. I've recently switched over on my phone so that I'm not on my phone so much. So I have I have my Apple phone like block all my websites, but I have to like ignore the limit like 16 times in a row. Okay, so we're at dictionary.com. What I want to go to is their sister page. Stop it. Thesaurus.com. Okay, so we're going to write station. All right. So depot, house, location, site, terminal, place, cougar place, maybe. Position, post, seat, situation, spot, stop, whereabouts, cougar stop. That sounds awful. Would you go to a zoo that has a station called Cougar Stop? We're doing it. I don't know. Oh, God. Okay. We're going to call the keeper. That's not good. Oh, the keeper's right there. Come on. It's always when I get a notification, dude. All right. Let's do that. Water treatment plant needs a repair. Oh, my gosh. Delete all that. We have done a challenge. Entry profits. Okay. Wait, is that thing on fire? Oh, my God. Drama. Right? Look at the... Oh, it is a baby, right? Senior? I don't know. Someone's gonna be like, that's not it, bro. Like, ooh. Oh, okay, the light's up now. We can definitely work on some things. Okay, I think before we build on this station, we should probably set up the cougar habitat. Maybe what we'll do is we'll set it up so it goes here, and then it looks like this lookout area will be looking over the cougars. So let's like go this way. And I also, to be fair, I probably should write this down, but I wrote down what animals are in the zoo, right? In each one of these little pamphlets. So we have the wolverine and the timber wolf. We have, the Dall sheep. That's it. Dall sheep. The beaver we have already in place. The centipede. The polar bear, which I already know where that is because that's the red fox. A reindeer, which we have. The Dall sheep again. What do we have over here? We have the cloud sulfur, Arctic fox, moose, wolverine again, timber wolf. You know, I wish I'd written down where I want these animals to sit because I can't remember where I wanted the wolverine to be. Wolverine again. Oh, that one's... All right, well, no. There we go. Let's set you... Cancel. That's not it. Okay. We are looking for... You know what? Let's do the buffalo in here. We're the North American buffalo. Where is that? North American beaver. Okay, maybe not. Oh, you know what? It's probably plains buffalo. Morticia, off, please. You're so cute, but off, please. Off. Thank you. Plains buffalo? No, where is the buffalo, bro? Just know that bird. Oh. No, I'm sticking to North American animals. The Thomas gazelle, that's like Africa, isn't it? I don't think so. I mean, I don't think I'm going to put it in this zoo is what I mean. The grizzly bear. Let's do the grizzly bear. I don't even know if I decided I was going to do grizzly bear in this exhibit, but if we're doing red fox, like, why not? Like, raccoons and everything, but not grizzly bear? Pfft, come on. All right, beaver, moose. Oh, the king penguins. Grizzly bear. Yeah, we are doing grizzly bear. We have the seals. Doll sheep. There it is. This is cougar, right? Yeah, it is the cougar. They're kind of crazy looking. Like, they look possessed. Oh, there's another one here that's empty. Okay, we gotta switch you to something else as well. Let's switch you to the fossa. We're not doing a fossa. Let's be real. The dingo. The doll sheep. We'll switch you to the doll sheep. I know we've done so many doll sheep, but like, whatever. Oh, we still have to do a pathway over here too. Oh boy, we're gonna have to do a building episode again, aren't we? And knowing me, it'll be much longer than normal because I don't know how to stop sometimes. All right, based on this, I think we should just stick with the cougar because this one will be a little bit easier to control. So we'll do a habitat for now. I would like to fix this because the heck is this? Hi. So this was never supposed to be a voiceover. There wasn't supposed to be a time lapse. But you know me, sometimes I just think something won't take as long as it happens to be taking. So right now, what I decided to do, and I kind of explained it already, is I would just put down the cougar exhibit just so that I know where they exist in terms of around the train. That was the original plan. But I think what happens is I kind of was thinking, oh, well, perhaps what I should do while I'm working on this is also just kind of lay out the formation of where I want the moose. So I kind of laid down the foundation for that exhibit as well, which is this one right here, because that also is around the train station. So that's why I thought it would probably be best to just do that. Oh boy, I just realized that there's a hole there, but it's fine. But I think I realized, you know what? Never mind. Let's just put down every exhibit that I want in this zoo. And it's gonna happen very shortly. Oh boy. So here I'm putting in the foundation for the Wolverine exhibit, which will be coming later. And there were some mistakes that I put down as I was laying down these. And like originally, that was the plan. It was I will just put down a rough point figure so that if there's anything large I want to put down, I can work around it. Because I also had the thought, I'm like, what if I have a mountainscape around the cougars? They probably would really like that. And also maybe I should look at like what other cats would probably be in the same area as well. And then I was like, well, I also want to put down the polar bears, so I should probably figure out if I want to put down other bears like the grizzly bear or the Himalayan bear. And so that is kind of how everything ended up happening, was one thought after another being like, well, I should probably put this down. Well, if I'm going to put that down, I should probably put this down. And that's just the whole mess right there, isn't it? So I think the next thing I look at is the buffalo, or the bison, I should say. And I couldn't figure out what it was. You see this queuing here? It's because I kept wanting to write buffalo. It's bison, not buffalo, which to be fair is a type of buffalo, but I digress. So anyways, I always yawn in these voiceovers. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. And then I thought, okay, well, some of these animals are probably available to be in the tundra. Like, it's probably fine. So then I looked at animals such as the red deer, which is only in Europe. The Canadian deer is actually known as the white-tailed deer. So those are the ones that will be sitting with the bison, even though technically the red deer is actually found in Europe. And anyway, so even though it's not a North American animal, it's going to be hanging out with all the North American animals, the red deer. And then, so I put down the bison, the red deer, etc. And I think what ended up doing, I will say this, a positive that came out of this is it helped me decide, Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. This is going to be the petting zoo, by the way, what I just put down, because I figured a petting zoo would be a good option, especially in a tundra zoo. We'll definitely kind of spice that up. And then here, I think, is where I put down some of the other animals. I think these are the bears, I think, the Himalayan bears. Because I was, again, I figure what I tend to do is I don't actually map out my exhibits. I just kind of put them down. And then I'm like, oh, I guess so. And then I like claim that I want to do all these different things. And then I don't end up doing it because I didn't plan for them. So that was my reasoning behind doing this. And I want to make it very clear. I am actually right now planning for an exhibit concerning the polar bears. So what I would like to do is create a food court. And this is why I'm putting down a bunch of restaurants and whatever. But I realize what I actually should be doing is putting down a grid. So I put down a pathing grid, but I realized I actually connected to the wrong grid. So I had to straighten out, make sure it was straight. So I could connect the path to a really nice, perfectly north-facing food court. And then the plan is that I would map out where I want the underground pathway to be. And then I found this and I was like, ooh, what is this? The beaver pool? It would not fit, but it's okay because it comes back later. It didn't fit, so we'll just figure something out. But here is where I'm laying out the Himalayan brown bear. And my original plan was, again, because I am always saying a bunch of things and then I don't get half of them done because, you know, I have high hopes, but I don't plan them out. So I'm planning out everything I can think of, and I think I'm like, okay, well, what other cats can we put over here? Because we put the cougar down, maybe we can put a bird down, maybe we can put a couple of other like animals that are similar to the dog family, like wolves, and no. So what I end up doing is I'm putting down two specific animals. The Eurasian lynx, because in Canada we do have lynx. It's actually known as the Canadian lynx, but this game does not have the Canadian lynx. So I thought a Eurasian lynx would be fine and probably can handle great cold weather, which they can actually. I also wanted to see like what other animals could I fit into what is going on. So I figured what I'd do is I'd put some of these other animals that maybe you wouldn't typically see together, that you would be able to make it work. So here is where I came up with my first building project that was a little large for this game, and it wasn't supposed to be large. Like, again, this is what happens. You have an idea and then you want to like go with it. So here was what my plan was, because this is the edge of the zoo. My plan was, what if I create an underground cave that connects from both sides of the path, because that's the end of the zoo there, and you can watch the animals that I'm going to put down behind this area. And what I originally thought is I would like a mountainscape with a waterfall, like a really large waterfall, and behind the waterfall is where the cave is for the animals. So that was my plan, but I was trying to figure out how to create a nice pathing system so that, one, it was accessible for people of all different walking abilities, which obviously, like, there isn't guests that are inaccessible for, like, walking or have difficulty walking in this game, but I still wanted to make it accessible regardless. Did some smoothing out here before I build more, and then I was like, wow, the ceiling is really thin here. So I definitely pushed up a little bit more on this area. And then here I was like, okay, it's probably best that I create a fence around some of these areas because you don't want people falling down. Again, I have to go through all the caves and fix the caves at some point. I swear that's probably going to be the last thing I do in this game. But here's the starting of the mountainscape, and I had never actually kind of worked with this mountainscape before. I didn't really know how to actually, you know, put it together, and I realized that when you're building the pyramid, for example, generally you want to have something underneath it. You can't just raise up and, well, I guess you could, but the higher there is an elevation, the higher the mountain will look, obviously. So I put down several other smaller pyramids around it. and smooth out the area. And then here is me using the waterfall materials for this mountainscape waterfall. Now I want to make this very clear. It still looks like this in the game. I have not beautified this. Once I put down the tiers of the water falling down, I did not go back in and make it look pretty, because that is for regular gameplay. This was just so that I'd put it down so I have a rough ballpoint figure of what I wanted here. And you know what I wanted? I wanted the snow leopard. I know the snow leopard is not indigenous to Canada, but neither is the Himalayan brown bear, and neither is the red deer. And neither is the Eurasian lynx. I wanted my snow leopard. I think they're the coolest animals ever. I love them so much, probably because of the movie The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. But it is a majestic movie nonetheless, and those animals are brilliant, but still dangerous. So I'm not in denial about them. They're friend-shaped, but they're not friendly. So here was how I was going to build out the cave. So on one side, I was like, okay, I'll build out the animal sleeping area over here, and then on the other side, we'll have the water area so that you could see them swimming. So I had to separate both these areas, 2 different caves. One of them is just full of water, whereas the other one is their actual sleeping area. So I wanted to make sure that when I was building this out, that I didn't get, any kind of issue here. So that was me trying to troubleshoot the area so that it doesn't look ridiculous, but also the animals can still go and nap in the inside of this particular cave area. And guess what? It works. One side is all water and one side is their living area, which I'm very happy about. I do have to go back in later to fix their exhibit, but we don't need to do that until later, thankfully. But again, the whole point of this was so that I could kind of put down the pieces that I needed. And then later, when I'm reviewing the animals that I'm going to put into place, I know exactly where I want them to be. I want the rough look. Like, I know what I kind of want their exhibit to look like, so we can beautify more later. Because I think I have realized when it comes to building zoos, or anything for that matter, is I tend to work on, I think I separate in my mind the playability form of the game, like when you're going in and, you're hiring people and stuff like that in the game, versus when you're building things in the game. And they almost need to be completely separate for me to actually really express proper creativity in my head. Because I then have I feel like there's a little bit more free roam there, and I can think about it a little bit better in terms of the way I create things. So even though I'm just putting this down now, I think the reason why I did this was because I realized that if I didn't put it down, that the exhibit would probably just be another square like we did at the beginning of the game, which is not a bad thing. Like, it kind of worked out, and we have like the whole feeling more like the animals are free roaming and the humans are more in captivity, which are what the glass pathways are about. So it has worked, but that's also why some of my original exhibits are more boxy, is because I just tend to think in terms of first the playability, and then if I build an exhibit in the playability, it's more functional and less aesthetic, if that makes sense. Also, this pathing system, ugly. I hate it so much. I don't even know why I got bogged down on this. I was like, I just need to fix this right quickly. Like, this has nothing to do with what I'm doing right now, but I'm just going to fix this little area. Yep, that's what I did. I think this is the only time I did that too. But everything else, like, is pretty much the same. Yeah, here I even tried to fix that pathing system. Like, okay, well, I guess that's not going to happen. Whatever. We can kind of fix it in later, though. Maybe add something to, like, explain that stupid pathway look. And then here I'm putting in the Eurasian lynx, which they're so cute. Oh yeah, I was reading a little bit about them, I guess. And then I thought, okay, well, you know what? We have a whole mountain scope. What if we actually do a full mountain range around the train here? So we're about to enter through the train, and it immediately goes in a cave through the mountains. And so I figured that's how I'm going to block off this side of the zoo, is just make it an entire mountainscape. And honestly, I'm so happy I did that because it looks so good from far away. And obviously you've seen the thumbnail of this episode, so that is the thumbnail itself, is the mountainscape. But it looks cool. It's attractive, and it works well with the animals too, because all these different types of cats that I put down, the snow leopard, the Eurasian lynx, and the cougar, all of them tend to live in mountainscape areas, and they live in caves. So I was like, of course, like, it makes sense. There are some decisions I make here that are wrong, and I will fix them. I don't know why I didn't think about this, but when you're going through the mountain, turn on a null barrier. I didn't do that. I just left the fences as is, and I just assumed that the mountains would just absorb the fences. That's not how it works. So I had to troubleshoot that a little bit later. It's fine. But here I am just kind of trying to make sure that the mountains look a little bit more normal. I'm going through each crevice and pulling out a little bit more landscape in those areas so the mountains don't look like a bunch of triangles sitting together. Instead, it looks like a formation of a bunch of different movable things. And so that is what I'm doing here, is just going through each crevice. Yes, every single one. And now we're going over it and smoothing it all out, which I still wanted some of these mountain-esques to still have a peak going on. So I was still watching out for that. And then I was like, okay, I gotta build out the cave that the train is going through. And I didn't want it to be too narrow because, you know, danger issues. So just making sure that it looks proper. And so I guess in a way we did kind of lay the foundation for building the train station. I just kind of also built the foundation for literally every other animal that I'm going to add into the zoo. And so here we are creating now a cave system. So I'm like, okay, well, I've always wanted, since the beginning of this zoo anyway, to have, like, obviously the glass walkway through the zoo, but I also wanted a caving system that if people wanted to just stay underground the entire time, they could. So that is what we're working on right now, is connecting the Eurasian lynx and the cougar to the snow leopard. So going entirely through the mountainscape to see the other two cats. However, I kind of did this a little wrong. I also wanted to make sure, like, well, if I'm putting the fence through the mountains, I might as make it like as if they can live in there, and then people can see through the glass of what the animals are doing through the cave. So that is what I was adjusting here as well. Obviously, and I realized that I didn't actually finish the Eurasian lynx exhibit. So that's what I'm doing here, is actually finishing the fence. Oh yeah, and then I think I realized, oh, that looks awful. Anyway, so I think once I'm done, like, refixing all the fences to make sure that the animals can nicely sit in there, I start building off the area to go towards the snow leopard. And since I know where the snow leopard was, it would be a little bit easier to connect them. And I think I accidentally created a hole through the mountainscape when I was trying to connect the Eurasian lynx to the snow leopard. So here I am trying to go in and refix that, so I'm not having all these random holes in the pathing system, and obviously increasing the size of the cave droplet, because it's yeah. So here was my other thought. Okay, well, I'll go this direction, and that way you can see the Eurasian lynx that way. And then I closed out this area, which was the accidental hole I created through the mountain, and made sure that, yes, you can see the Eurasian lynx napping over there, but that is the end of the road. You're not going to go closer to that. I suppose I could probably make a staffing area over there, maybe like water treatment plant, etc., because I'm obviously going to have water, and I just realized I didn't put down the water treatment plant. Oh wait, no, there is one in the area near the Arctic wolves, so maybe it's fine. Here is, I think this was originally how I wanted the staff to go into the exhibit, but based on the fact that this exhibit is just hovering above land, I decided let's not complicate this. We'll just make it connected to the path. I might change it later depending on whether or not I think that's attractive or not. But this is, again, a temporary place, because a placeholder, because that was the original plan, was that I would just put down temporary pieces. And here I am already into like 2 hours of recording at this point. I think by the time we're done this time lapse, it's actually about 3 hours and 20 minutes. So this entire recording session was ranging on like 4 hours, and that was not what this was supposed to be. But I think I also need to sometimes not be so much in denial about how long building actually takes. It takes a long. And then here I am fixing the cougar in a cave so that they obviously cannot attack the guests. I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, I think I was also like comparing how big the mountainscape was to the dome we have, and actually the dome is the smallest thing compared to the mountains now. But I also wanted a mountainscape for the doll sheep, so that does show up a little bit shortly, but obviously nothing compared to the 3 cats that we have over there. And then I thought, okay, well, I'll probably connect this cave then to the outside of where the other part of the zoo is. So here we have a nice pathing system. Obviously, it's not the most like straight pathing system, but it is one that connects the 3 cats to the bear area, which is good for me. And I think if we continue on this, I think everything else will be underground. We can probably actually connect, because that hole there that I put there is actually a placeholder saying I want a cave there. So if we put a cave there, we could probably connect the underground part of where the cats are to this area of the underground part of the bears. Hi, Morticia. And here I am laying down the foundations for the doll sheep, because I understand that they need mountainscapes. But I'm also like concerned because I know how they can probably escape. They're great jumpers. So we do fix that later. But as soon as I put them in, like, they're all ready to escape. So keep that in mind. Even though I put this down, we gotta fix it later. And right, so I'm trying to like even this out. So okay, I'm like, well, maybe we put the pathing system, the regular walking system, Morticia, please no, around the mountainscape. So that was the plan. So that way, when you go through the cave, you can also see the dull sheep on the other side. So it's a nice little walkway that you can just either walk through, or you can see the dull sheep sleeping, which I assume they sleep in caves. I don't know. I'd be surprised if they didn't, right? All animals need shelter, I think. Anyway, again, because like as much as I know some things that I put down, like how high the fences should be, is because I'm actually adjusting things as I'm going. Overall, like I didn't necessarily put down like the most comfortable space for these animals. I kind of just like, yeah, we'll see in the next episode. But here I think is where I'm planning out the polar bear. So I wanted it so that if you're at the food court, you walk down this pathing system, and around the food court, around this pathing system, is where you'll see the middle of the exhibit of the polar bears. So it's kind of like in all angles. If you walk one side or the other, you'll see the polar bears no matter what. Because one of the biggest complaints that the guests will find when it comes to the polar bears, because they need so much space, is that you can't actually see the polar bears. So I wanted it to make it, almost like a tall but like a long but thin exhibit. And I've done this before in some of the other like tutorials when I would put the polar bears in, is I would make it a very long exhibit but a very like thin exhibit, and then that kind of seemed to fix the area. So I figured if I had this nice walking path through the middle of the exhibit, no matter where you stand, the guests will be happy because they can see them. And I think here I'm laying down the foundation for the grizzly bear exhibit, because again, I want to keep all the bears in the same kind of region. We're actually getting close to the end of this time lapse. If you want to see what happens next, the next episode, I actually pick it up immediately from here. But for now, we're going to say sayonara on this time lapse. Okay, I think we're done. We have clearly so much more to do still in this zoo. But I think now that we have so much to do, I'm pretty excited for whatever comes next, because I already have several other ideas that I want to do with the rest of the zoo, but I am quite tired now. This has almost been a 4-hour recording session, just based on everything we've done here. Very exciting, but we do have a lot to do. So I hope to see you in the next video. But until then, if you're new to my channel, my name is Sarah. I am the host of Sarah's Spare Corner. Sarah's Spare Corner encompasses gaming as well as arts, crafts, and various different forms of creativity. Additionally, I like sharing theories, concepts, and ideas as I am a philosophy major, and when I'm not poor, I might travel places, and I might post about it. I hope to see you in the next video. Next video will probably be working on those stations like I've been talking, like I originally said we were going to do in this video. It's okay that we didn't do it in this one, so that will be the next video. I'll definitely set up better, oh no, not Watkins, better things to do in this, better train stations. So they look more attractive and also they are warm. But thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next video and I hope that you have a lovely day. Bye now.